Time for the main event!
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, leave a like down below. With that being said, I want to take a second and thank you very much for getting the channel to 7,000 subscribers. We just hit 6,000 like a month ago. I'm blown away of the growth in this last month, so thank you very much. I'm speechless. I'm tripping over my own words right now. But with that being said, we got 3 major news topics to talk about today. The first one is the wrestling code, and was it canceled? Well, no, it wasn't, but the developer did issue a statement, so we'll go over that in a minute. Then we got a look at some new entrances, and it looks like from those entrances we got some much needed TLC coming to the Legends. Hopefully more Legends get this. And then last but not least, the new Showcase Ringside Report. Let's get to the news, because there's a lot to get to. So was the wrestling code canceled? No. Here's what all the information and fuss is about. This is over on WrestleZone. Shoutouts to them. They have a pretty good summary of everything that's been going on since this morning. That a post caught fire that everybody thought, oh, the wrestling code is done. And everybody's like, oh yeah, that makes sense, because they've gone radio silent for the last year. I think the last update was in 2024. Anyway, let's read this real quick. It says, Virtual Basement abandons the trademark for the wrestling code. It says, fans recently discovered that Virtual Basement abandoned its trademarks on the wrestling code. Virtual Basement initially filed a trademark to trademark it in April 2020, but that was abandoned after a few years. The company applied for a new trademark in April 2024, but that was also abandoned on December 29th, 2025. It's possible that they could have changed the game's name or reapplied for another trademark. However, this does not look good for the troubled game. There are close to 200 confirmed members of the roster. However, Virtual Basement hasn't made a social post since June of, I want to say 2024? But yeah, it's been a minute. And it says Virtual Basement responds. Here's their response to this, because they had to make a statement because everybody was saying the game was canceled or done, cooked. So it got so much traction and so much attention that they're like, oh crap, we better say something. So here's what's going on. It says Virtual Basement responds to reports about the wrestling code trademark. Update. Virtual Basement responded to the reports about abandoning the trademarks to the wrestling code on the developer's Discord account. It was noted that they are still working on the game, and the trademark issue was an automated process. According to Jamie, the game dev, Virtual Basement has already applied for another trademark, which is officially granted once the game is released. It says it was also noted that the reason Virtual Basement has been quiet in recent months is due to their team finishing a contract on another game. This caused them to work part-time on the wrestling code, but they will resume full-time work once the other contract is completed. Fightful, via Fightful Select, is also reporting the game isn't canceled, and the game's hiatus isn't a convenient excuse. The outlet reports that Virtual Basement's previous lawyer retired, and they are working with a new one to reinstate the trademark. Ooh, that's got to be quite the hassle. Virtual Basement's claim that they put the wrestling code on hold isn't a new excuse either. Fightful notes that they've maintained this position for a few months. Fightful reached out to the developer, who said that the wrestling code is still a self-funded passion project that they're building and hope to showcase more of it this year. So just like Ultra Pro Wrestling, they're having some trouble, development hell trouble. This is the problem with pretty much any game nowadays, especially indie games, and especially wrestling games. I think wrestling games are cursed. I really think wrestling games are cursed. It takes so long to make a wrestling game. That's why nobody else touches the genre. 2K pretty much has it on lock, mainly because of the fact that they have a 20-year build that they can keep building off of. They don't have to start from scratch every year. So, I mean, they're getting some massive upgrades this year. So these games, the longer they take, and the more stuff 2K adds and changes and fixes in their game, it's just going to be an uphill battle. By the time these games come out, I fear they're just going to fail right at launch. And it's not because they'll be bad or anything. There just might be missing features that 2K finally got around to adding. The longer they give 2K pretty much free reign, the harder it's going to be for them to take a piece of that pie. Now, I know a lot of people want an alternative. Regardless, I'll buy it because I love wrestling games and I want to support wrestling games. But, I mean, they're going to have a super good creative wrestler. They don't have to have a creative championship, a creative arena, and all that right at the start. But day one, you need like a story mode. You need like all the match types, really good gameplay, decent graphics, without like low FPS and making it look really ugly, since they're going for their full realism and authenticity of how wrestlers move and everything in the ring. And of course, a very robust creative wrestler. If the creative wrestler is anything like AEW's, this game will be DOA. I'm sorry, it'll be DOA. So anyway, it's going to be a long time before we hear or see the Wrestling Goat. Hopefully they get a spot in the Game Awards, because that would really help them get like word of mouth out there for the game and get some eyeballs on it, but we'll have to wait and see. So there's the news for the Wrestling Goat. On to the next thing. There are a couple new entrances that I wanted to showcase here because I was so impressed with how Roddy Piper and his new model looks. Look at this. This blew my mind. And this got me really excited because this means that we might finally get some good updates for the Legends. Now, Ultimate Warrior, I think, got an upgrade a couple of years ago, but he's been the same, I think, the last two games. Macho Man Randy Savage, his base model has been the same. They just changed his, I think, attire color. They did add the Macho King, but that's DLC. And I believe Macho Madness is this year. I believe that's the WCW one. That's one of my favorites. One of his favorite looks, anyway. I really hope they add like a funny one, like Bonesaw from his Spider-Man gimmick. I think that'd be hilarious. Bonesaw's ready. That'd be hilarious. But anyway, this gets me excited because there might be going back and finally giving the Legends some much needed love. I mean, for crying out loud, these guys pretty much paved the way for what I'm doing right now, covering a wrestling game. If it wasn't for these guys, there wouldn't be no wrestling games. There wouldn't be wrestling. So they needed some much needed upgrades. Next up is Roxanne Perez. I was blown away by her face models, like her facial expressions, if that makes sense. Again, I'm going on 2 hours of sleep. It's my Friday. I worked a little extra this week, so I could have 3 days off. So I got 3 days off. Woo! So that's really good. But yeah, her face looks amazing. Her attire looks cool. Animations look great. So yeah, this year I've noticed that their facial expressions got a really good upgrade. And of course it has their awesome music and everything. I'm curious what the pyro is going to look like for each wrestler's entrance. I wonder if pyro is only available for wrestlers that actually have pyro, unless you go add it in yourself. And one thing people have been pointing out that I saw is look at the hair flip mechanics. I know a lot of people have been complaining about the hair and how it reacts to everything. Look at that. That's the best I think hair has ever looked in these games. Now, it might look a little funny here. As the hair whips, it actually looks pretty decent. So I think once we get the game in our hands and we're playing it on our consoles, a lot of this stuff will look way better. So I'm super excited for this. Hopefully the creative wrestler hairstyles look much better. Like, I want the mohawk to move on my main character, my big mohawk. I want that thing to be waving in the wind and stuff. I think that'd be cool. Or like moving around. That'd be super awesome. Instead of it being like it's plastic and it's just sitting there, like it's part of a helmet or something. That'd be super cool. So anyway, I'm very happy the Legends are getting upgraded. Now, on to the last news topic, the Showcase Ringside Report. Let's go check that out. All right, finally, the Ringside Report for 2K26. Basically, the Showcase mode. So there's a lot of new information here. We're going to read through it, and I'll give you my 2 cents worth. We got all the matches that are going to be in it. We got a new way to unlock everything, which I don't know how I feel about it yet. We'll get to that here in a second. All right, it says match list. As part of the showcase, Punk will take players through 3 different categories: historical matches, fantasy warfare, and what if matches. So we'll skip down here. It says the first category is historical matches. And here is the list: CM Punk versus JBL, SummerSlam 2008. CM Punk versus Rey Mysterio, Armageddon 2008. CM Punk versus Randy Orton, WrestleMania 27. CM Punk versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 29. CM Punk versus John Cena, Raw, February 2013. CM Punk versus The Rock, Elimination Chamber, 2013. CM Punk versus Brock Lesnar, SummerSlam 2013. CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre, Bad Blood 2024. CM Punk versus Seth frickin' Rollins, Raw, January 2025. A match from last year, come on. CM Punk versus Seth frickin' Rollins versus Roman Reigns, WrestleMania 41. No Jeff Hardy and no Jericho. Bummer. I know there was a lot of people talking about that. Maybe it'll be in the season pass or the ringside pass as an unlock. They might have stuff for all modes locked in that thing, so we'll have to wait and see on that. Next match type is Fantasy Warfare, and this is ones where this is wrestlers he wanted to face but didn't have a chance to. And the list is CM Punk versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, CM Punk Villain, his cool ring, his custom ring. I think it's awesome. CM Punk versus Eddie Guerrero, CM Punk Villain, CM Punk and AJ Lee versus The Miz and Maurice. I have a feeling there's a lot of people complaining that Maurice is basically the same character model. Again, she's a legend. I consider her a legend. She needs some TLC, big time. Maybe there's new versions of her or new attires for her locked in the ringside pass. That would make a lot of sense to me. I mean, I have a feeling there's going to be a ton of new attires, a ton of new stuff. I much prefer it in the ringside pass than locked to a Persona card, random card pack in my faction, because I still have zero desire to play that mode. Until they add Create a Wrestler to it, I probably won't even touch it. I might make one video on it, but most of you guys on my channel don't really care about the mode. Anyway, next up is What If Matches. This is what if CM Punk never left WWE in 2024, I almost said 2K24. What if certain rivalries went differently? What if redemption came sooner? This year introduces timeline-bending scenarios that let players explore alternate realities and rewrite wrestling history. It's funny, I said this 2 years ago. For 2K23, they should have what if matches and different outcomes. Like, what if this person won? I literally said that 2 years ago. Go check out my videos for Showcase Mode leading up to 2K23 and 2K24, because I said it in both videos. So this is I want to say this is like a no-brainer, because it adds more to the mode and it makes it more fun. These are the matches I care about. I could care less about replaying these official matches. The what-if matches, the fantasy matches, that's what I like. That's what I want more of in the showcase, so that's cool. Anyway, it says this year introduces timeline-bending scenarios that let players explore alternate realities and rewrite history, wrestling history. Showcase has a handful of these types of matches that will reveal at a later date. Oh, you're not going to show it now? Bummer. And then it says unlockable content, stuff you can unlock in the mode. Like previous iterations of WWE 2K, players will be able to earn rewards as they make their way through each match and complete objectives. Rewards will fall into the following categories: legends, alternate attires, managers, championships. Ooh, I hope they don't lock. I'm a little worried about the championships. And arenas. I hate it when they lock out championship and arenas. Arenas is the main thing that annoys me when they lock it to a mode they have to unlock. When I buy these games, that and creation parts I want all unlocked right at the go. I don't care about having to unlock wrestlers, wrestler attires, even championships. Arenas and creation parts are what I want access to right away, because I hate having half the arenas locked until you go and play all these different modes and all these different things, because I just want to play the game. I just want to have fun. And if you buy it on multiple consoles, it kind of sucks because you have to literally go do all this stuff twice, and it's exhausting. So, like when I got it on Switch 2 last year, I had no arenas unlocked, and I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I think I played that for like 10 hours just to get footage off of it, and that was it. I barely touched it, but I played it for almost 200 hours, 300 hours on the PS5, so yeah, I didn't really want to do that twice. All right, and now the last news, and this is pretty big news because this is a whole new way to unlock everything. In the last year's game and the games before, in last year's game, you had to complete all objectives in one go or you unlocked nothing. I hated that. I just wanted to play through the mode. I didn't want to have to do all the stupid unlockable crap. Like, I didn't even finish it because of that. Because you have to literally hit all things in one playthrough of each of those matches, I was done. Like, nah, not for me. But it looks like there's different ways to do it this year. So it says for players who want to skip straight to the action and unlock all rewards, WWE 2K26 introduces an optional gauntlet match. It says in this format, players can choose to face 20 consecutive opponents, either as CM Punk or AJ Lee. Completing the full run rewards all showcase unlockables, hell yes, at once, including characters, arenas, and other content tied to the mode. This provides an alternate path to completion for players who prefer a gameplay challenge over progressing through each match individually. But if you fail, back to the start. So it's like roguelite or whatever. It's high risk but high reward. This year's showcase isn't just about what happened, it's about what could have happened, what should have happened, and what still might happen. How are you going to play it? Stay tuned for more ringside reports as we break down more modes. So this thing about what if matches, this leaves this open for DLC in the showcase. So we might have DLC wrestling matches in the showcase, which is pretty cool because some of the DLC wrestlers added to the season ringside pass, whatever the heck it's called this year, might be added to the CM Punk showcase. Because one of my biggest things about the showcase mode is you play it once and you're done. That's it. It's over. It's like it seems like a waste of a mode and a waste of resources. But if they go in and add in new matches with the season passes, like I've been saying for the last couple games, that'd be pretty cool. Give you a reason to go back to each mode. Like, make each mode shine with the DLC. And maybe that's what the ringside pass is all about. We still need more information on that. So I'm a little excited for this. I actually am excited for the showcase mode. Normally I skip it every year unless they have something really cool I want to unlock in it. I didn't even finish last year's because of how they made it to where you had to, like I said earlier, complete every objective in order to unlock anything. That was a really bonehead decision in my opinion because it made me not even want to play the mode, especially after playing it for the last, 10, 15 games. I'm like, dude, I just want to play the game as my wrestlers, go to my universe, and get going. I don't want to have to play through 20 different modes and unlock 80 things. Especially the way they did it. Like if you could do it, like go back through the mode, go back to a match, just go for that one thing you missed and complete the list that way, that would have been fine. I would have probably done it. But the fact that it's all or nothing, nah. No way. No, I was done. No way, man. Anyway, so what do you make of all this news? There was a lot to go over. Hopefully you stuck around to the end of the video. Keep an eye on the next few videos. I have a special announcement. I just didn't want to add it to this one because this video is going to be a little longer than usual, so keep an eye on the next few videos. I have a cool special announcement I want to make, and I think you guys might like it. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay frosty.